speaker is Sheila Coleman, who's from the Unite the Union Community Coordinator, and she's going to be speaking to us on the bedroom tax. Thank you.
Hi, and thanks for inviting me tonight. I'd just like to concur with what Sam said. In my role as community coordinator, the largest meetings that I've attended over the last 18 months, well, the last year, and have been People's Assembly. The People's Assembly really seems to have ignited people's imaginations and getting people out in numbers that it's extremely hard to do. Owen was at the one we held in Liverpool last September, which was incredibly well attended, and it's great to see so many people here tonight. As has been said, I'm the coordinator of community branches of Unite, which is a relatively new initiative of the Union, and I see it as an opportunity to challenge formal structures, and I always maintain for the Union to adapt to changing communities and not for communities to slot in to traditional structures. And I see that really as my role, working alongside community. And coinciding with my appointment almost immediately was the beginnings of the initiatives hitting, the austerity measures hitting. And at the forefront of that has been the bedroom tax. We all know austerity measures go way beyond the bedroom tax, and as they're developing now, issues around sanctions, etc., are hitting people extremely hard. But nevertheless, the bedroom tax was the hook. It was the thing that got people out to meetings who don't traditionally come out to meetings. And what brought them out was fear and a realisation that they were going to lose the roof over their head. And that was what we have to deal with, that reality. And people didn't want to come out and listen to party politics. They didn't want to come out and listen to people engaging them in trying to join the Labour Party or whatever party. In fact, most people at these meetings were very anti-organisation, and on a personal level, I took a tremendous amount of criticism because I was seen as representing the union that was an arm of the Labour Party, and so there's a lot of barriers to break down. And the only way you break down those barriers is to meet people's needs, is to work with people. And over the course of a year, just over a year, I've been really heartened by the people I've met and engaged with and spend a lot of time with over how they fought back and come from a position of tremendous disadvantage around the bedroom tax and have armed themselves with the most powerful thing, the information, to fight back. And I attended a public meeting in Liverpool last night, in Toxteth, where I live, where a group of people who were Unite community members formed a group out of the bedroom tax called South Liverpool Against Poverty, an awful shortening of that being SLAP. But never mind, nevertheless, it was really, these people have been at the forefront of appealing against the bedroom tax and of challenging. And I said this last night because I reminded them of how times have moved on in the space of a year. When we were protesting outside the town hall in Liverpool City a year ago over councillors going in to vote for cuts, we were being called peasants and in some cases scum. Peasants and scum because we were objecting to the cuts being made by a Labour council. These people involved in the bedroom tax took it from that situation to go into surgeries, councillors' surgeries, getting a meeting with the deputy head of the council at the time and challenging him to the point where they could point out mistakes and errors on forms, etc. To going inside the council, to have an motion put to council, to get into the stage where they met with the head of housing, who had to concede they knew more than she did on policies because it was affecting them, to the point where they were advised to invited to attend a welfare reform committee set up by the council, made up of the heads of housing associations, who to that point had not engaged with them at all. The point of that is really important because it shows that whilst idealistically some of us might just want to shout and condemn the bedroom tax, as I'm sure most of us in this room do, there's a level of pragmatism that has to be employed because we are dealing with people who are at risk, tremendous risk of losing the roof over their heads. So I see it in terms of a two-pronged, the short-term goals and long-term goals. And in terms of the short-term goals of working with people around the bedroom tax, it has to be around their own individual cases and accommodating them to win their own cases. And the key to that is appealing any decisions made against them. And that is where people have really come into their own. And, you know, last night we had a welfare expert on talking, and she said the same thing. You just have to appeal. You have to keep appealing because it's government policy to appeal anything that's won anyway, as a matter of course. So you must appeal. And if you lose, you appeal again, and you just keep appealing. You clog up the system. But what people are doing is not just clogging up the system, they're challenging the very legislation that's attacking them. So we have the arguments about room size, for example, and I'm sure loads of you are familiar with that. If it's beneath a certain size, spare room, arguments around whether it is a spare room or not. And I've brought with me some of the things that have been given out, and there's a table over there which I've put Unite things on, our own Unite community things and things that are utilised within the community groups. And one of these letters is really, it's an appeal process, and also the reasons why you should be allowed extra time to appeal, and also why there's reasons why you need an extra room. There's also 2 model letters for anyone needing to do that, and don't be put off by time factors of being out of time. But what our community members have done, and this is a little plug for Unite Community, which I've got no problem in doing, is that we have worked very closely to see where there are gaps. And some of our members in Liverpool, we've always argued around human rights legislation, that this bedroom tax is a breach of human rights legislation. And with that in mind, we set up a course from the CASA community in Liverpool, together with TUC Education, and ran a course for 8 weeks around equality in human rights and disability. And 2 weeks ago, 4 of our members won their appeals utilising the information they had gathered on those courses. And that is the power of people arming themselves to fight. And where somebody did lose an appeal, she was actually okay about losing it because it was a first-tier tribunal, and obviously it's much better to lose at that. And she argued the subsistence level, that to pay her bedroom tax, it was taking her under subsistence level. And although the decision went against her, the ruling was such that the judge just opened the door for her to appeal. You could see he was inviting her to appeal, and very smart, because obviously if that appeal is upheld at a higher level, then it will set some kind of precedent. So my point in all this is the need for organisation, the need to move away, as Sam has rightly said, from internecine warfare around party politics, whether it be the right, the left, or whatever. I see people here tonight. I spoke at Green Party conference, which was in Liverpool on Friday, and spoke at a session on austerity. And it was great to see so many people, and there's people here would know some of our community members, local community members were there. And we have to cut across things, because let's get real about this. This is war. These people are out to kill us, and they don't care. You know, last week another person starved to death, a vulnerable adult who was refused support, starved to death. We saw yesterday the ruling from Westminster Council: do not feed the homeless. So don't feed the pigeons, don't feed the homeless. Well, you know, no one's going to stop me from being human and being humane. And what this brings into it really is morality. And I think, and the People's Assembly is opening the door for this, that what we have to bring in to this fight, where we have to stand together, is the moral argument. We have to utilise human rights legislation. Why do you think Theresa May is so keen to get rid of it? Because it is a weapon that we can use, that we can fight with. And even if it takes time, we appeal. But the point is, we have to get back to treating each other as decent human beings, because if we lose that fundamental humanity, we've lost. We've lost in every sense of the word. The government now doesn't care. It will kill us. It is killing us by stealth. We know that. We have to stop that, and we have to stop it by not playing their game, but by drawing them into our game. We have to say enough is enough. And the reality is, wherever masses come out, and like good numbers like this, we have to go away determined to do something, because for every meeting like this, there will be poorly attended meetings that have been organised by well-meaning people of political parties, and people do not come out because people are standing, knocking on doors, asking them to vote for them. That's not how you're going to get people out. That's not how you're going to change things. You know, I'm a big fan of the People's Assembly because I think it's opened the door for changing things for the better. So really, anyone who is affected by the bedroom tax or who feels they can assist anyone, the table at the back has leaflets from Unite. It has here, the Casa Community Branch in Liverpool operates under a website called The Initiative Factory, and there's stapled sheets there with bedroom tax frequently asked questions, template letters, etc. And also, if you were to go onto their website, they will offer any help that they can give whatsoever. So the point in all this, I think, is, the message is stand together and let's be human and decent about it. Thank you.